Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Six Path Weeb, and I'm thrilled to have you here as we dive deep into some of the most fascinating what-if scenarios in the Naruto universe, exploring twists and turns that challenge everything we thought we knew about the story. Today, we're going to explore a scenario that will completely flip the script. What if Naruko confronted Kaguya first? Part 4. We'll examine every possible outcome, the strategic moves, and the emotional stakes that could have completely changed the course of the shinobi world. Before we get started, a quick reminder. All the content on this channel is created purely for discussion, speculation, and entertainment purposes. I do not own any of the anime footage featured in these videos, and full credit for the original work goes to the creators and copyright holders who brought this incredible world to life. So, get comfortable, stay focused, and let's jump right into this intense and mind-bending scenario together, because you won't want to miss a single moment. Kyuubi and Hiromi argued playfully about who would carry Naruko back to Konoha. And what's wrong with my fox form? I can move incredibly fast while I'm 10 stories tall, Kyuubi said confidently. Hiromi rolled her eyes. Yeah, and probably startle everyone in High no Kuni when you do. Did you forget I'm Naruko's summon? I'm made to move efficiently. Before Kyuubi could respond, Naruko appeared right in front of them. Girls, enough. Let's do this my way, she said calmly. Suddenly, all three of them hovered briefly above the ground. The girls looked at Naruko, puzzled, before shooting into the sky like living arrows. Both screamed in excitement as they spun upward. Hiromi was about to transform into her dragon form, but Naruko's voice stopped her. Please tell me you remember what the tomb instructions said, Naruko asked. When she received blank stares, she sighed. Their ascent halted, but they didn't fall. I have complete control over gravity now, Naruko explained. I can decide which direction gravity pulls, like toward Konoha. Slowly, they started moving toward Konoha, still suspended in mid-air. The girls looked at Naruko with awe, clutching her tightly as they sped up. How are we moving this fast? Kyuubi asked over the roaring wind. We're technically in controlled free fall. It's like jumping off a cliff, but I control the direction instead of the ground, Naruko explained with a smile. After a few minutes, Naruko had an idea. Hey girls, wanna go even faster? Before either could answer, their speed increased dramatically. Both girls gripped Naruko tightly, making her laugh softly. I'm clearing the air resistance. Before, air resistance slowed us down. Now we can move freely, and I'm keeping enough air so we can breathe safely. Kyuubi looked puzzled, but Hiromi understood immediately. They remained silent for a while until Hiromi's sharp eyes spotted something far below. Naruko, what is that? Naruko and Kyuubi squinted and saw dark smoke rising from the town below. Looks like a fire. Someone may need help, Naruko said, adjusting gravity to guide them toward it. She lifted the air resistance, and they zipped toward the source of the smoke. Town of Yumo. Yugito was exhausted. She had been running from relentless pursuers for days, seeking a chance to rest. She had hoped the town of Yumo could offer temporary safety, but now flames rose around her, threatening the town. She knew she couldn't be weighed down by guilt. First, she had to survive. Kitten, release my chakra. I sense another bijou nearby. Perhaps they can assist, Yugito said. But wouldn't that reveal my location? That seems risky, Kitten replied. But I sense Kyuubi's presence. With her help, we can manage this, Yugito reasoned. After some hesitation, Kitten gave a small nod. Kyuubi only helps when there's something valuable in it, and right now, we have nothing, Kitten reminded her. Yugito weighed the risk. But maybe she'll help anyway, given the danger. Fine. We'll take that chance, Yugito said firmly. She focused, channeling her chakra into the sky. A dense, purple aura erupted around her and shot upward, alerting both Kyuubi and the pursuing forces to her location. Back with Naruko, Kyuubi, and Hiromi. Kyuubi's eyes narrowed at the purple column. Looks like Nibi no Bakoneko wishes to communicate, Kyuubi remarked. Naruko guided them to a soft landing on the grass. Hiromi immediately dropped to her knees, overwhelmed. I thought you were used to flying, Naruko teased. I am, only in my dragon form. I dislike falling in my human form, Hiromi admitted. Naruko nodded and noticed Kyuubi already heading toward the town. First, I need to help with the fires, Naruko said, summoning a massive amount of water from the air. The water rose high and fell like artificial rain, quickly extinguishing most of the flames. She then entered the village, following sounds of the ongoing struggle. Leaping onto a rooftop, Naruko saw Kyubi observing 3 people engaged in combat. One blonde, about 10 years older than Naruko, faced 2 opponents, but Kyubi appeared to assess the situation. "So what's happening?" Naruko asked. "It seems the girl is the container for Nibi no Bakoneko. She may need assistance, and I can see why she called for help," Kyubi said. Naruko considered this. "Will you help her?" Kyubi sighed. "I usually request a reward, but circumstances have changed. These 2 opponents are from Akatsuki, and their intent is harmful." After a tense pause, Naruko asked, "So why are we just watching?" Kyubi's eyes gleamed. "I want to see your reaction first. It's been a while since I had a proper challenge." Without turning back, Kyubi leapt into the fray, summoning intense heat between her hands. She appeared among the combatants and struck the ground, creating a protective shield of molten terrain. "Kitten, move now." Yugito immediately followed the command, leaping safely away as Kyubi's presence dominated the battlefield. Even the seasoned adversaries hesitated, astonished by her strength. Kyubi maintained her focus, maneuvering skillfully, her flaming red hair and glowing eyes casting an aura of unstoppable power. Naruko stood ready to assist her allies, prepared to intervene if necessary. Do you enjoy challenging Jinchuriki when the bijou inside them are vulnerable? Well, now it's time for a bit of payback. Anapu, Spirits of the Hidden. Dark, swirling energy bursts from Kyubi's hands and races toward Kakuzu. He manages to dodge the first few, but one latches onto his arm. The strange, shadowy entity wraps around him, causing intense discomfort as it clings tightly. Soon, more of these forms attach themselves, covering him almost entirely. The sensations are overwhelming, and he struggles to break free. When the energy finally disperses, the damage has already been done. Kakuzu's movements are slowed, his body weakened and exposed, leaving him vulnerable. You are far beyond your limits, Kyubi warns firmly. I'll let you go this time so you can deliver a message. The bijou will not tolerate the capture of their companions. Any further attempts will be met with my full power. Kakuzu nods quickly and prepares to move, but a firm foot on his chest by Kyubi stops him. I'm not finished yet. She channels fire into her hands, pressing them strategically against him to immobilize his energy flow. Kakuzu struggles but realizes the precision and control Naruko and Kyubi display are beyond anything he has faced. In mere moments, he feels utterly outmatched. You'd better hope we never meet again, Naruko states calmly. Kakuzu takes advantage of the warning and quickly retreats to the nearest Akatsuki hideout. Once Kakuzu departs, Naruko appears beside Kyubi. That was impressive, she comments, smiling. Kyubi gives a playful grin in response, their bond evident in the moment. Before they can linger, another presence makes itself known, Hiromi, arriving with purpose. We have another task to attend to, she reminds Naruko, and together the group moves toward the Nibi's chakra signature. The bijou had sought refuge inside a small, intact hut. Yugito opens the door cautiously, appearing weary and drained of energy. Inside, she finds 3 figures, 2 striking women and a blonde figure whose presence radiates authority. Who are you? Yugito asks softly, unsure of what to expect. Kyubi's piercing gaze meets hers, a subtle challenge in her expression. You know the rules, Kyubi begins. To receive assistance from me, there is always a cost. Yugito bows respectfully. Kyubi dono, please allow us this one favor without payment. I promise to repay you in full in the future. Kyubi's expression softens only slightly. I am aware of your offer. But my assistance is not something I grant lightly. I will decide what is fair. Naruko steps forward, lightly holding Kyubi's wrist. Can we speak privately? She asks. Outside, protected by a swift gust of wind, Naruko questions Kyubi. Why are you being so strict? She had no other options. Kyubi meets her gaze with intensity. Do not question how I conduct my duties. I have been entrusted with maintaining balance, and the cost was understood. Your concern is noted, but let me handle this. Naruko, surprised by the sharpness in her tone, listens as Kyubi continues. Her voice softens. I appreciate your care. It shows your growth. Trust me, I have plans that will help this girl while keeping our interests safe. Kyubi gives Naruko a gentle, reassuring smile and a tender gesture of affection, signaling unity and trust. They return inside, hand in hand, ready to resolve the situation. Yugito's eyes widen at the sight, feeling both confusion and hope. Kyubi's presence is commanding but not threatening, and for the first time, the bijou senses that she may not be entirely alone in her struggles. I have discussed with my partner, Kyubi begins, and we agree, your container will receive our guidance and protection. Yugito bows in understanding. Though the path ahead is challenging, she knows she has allies she can trust. I understand, she says quietly, a sense of determination replacing her previous despair. She removes her jacket, revealing the fitted training outfit beneath. Nibi turns around and waits patiently. Kyubi moves closer to Yugito and gently places a finger on the back of her neck. Nibi feels a warm sensation, which gradually fades, leaving a faint mark, an indication of a special bond. As Nibi adjusts her attire, Hiromi approaches Kyubi and starts a calm conversation, as if the recent marking hadn't happened at all. What happens now? Nibi asks softly, sensing a slight tension. For the time being, you will return to Kumo and continue your responsibilities there, Kyubi explains. We will accompany you and inform your Raikage of the changes. You will no longer be sent on missions that require manipulation. You are valued and trusted, and we will ensure your talents are respected. You will remain in Kumo until we call upon you, Kyubi adds. Nibi can hardly believe what she is hearing. Yugito will continue as a kunoichi and will no longer be sent on tricky assignments. She is still adjusting to the idea of being marked, but at least she won't be put in uncomfortable situations anymore. As you wish, Kyubi continues. We should return to Kumo promptly. My host will regain full awareness soon, and when she does, I'll guide her carefully to ensure she remains calm and cooperative. Kyubi waves casually. Naruko, shall we? Naruko nods, and the four of them levitate, moving smoothly through the air toward Kumo. Hiromi stays close to Naruko while Kyubi and Nibi keep pace. How are we moving like this? Nibi asks, genuinely curious. Naruko, could you remove your glasses? She will notice soon anyway, Kyubi calls. Naruko shrugs and takes off her sunglasses, causing Nibi to gasp in surprise. Kyubi chuckles at the reaction. She is on the path to mastering multiple abilities. She already commands fire, wind, water, and gravity. For now, this is confidential information, Kyubi explains. Regarding our movement, Naruko is controlling the gravitational field around us. At the moment, gravity is oriented toward Kumo. Nibi nods, intrigued, and watches as Naruko and Hiromi stay close, sharing a quiet, comforting moment. Are you comfortable with that? Nibi asks, gesturing toward Naruko and Hiromi. Kyubi nods thoughtfully. A few years ago, Naruko faced a challenging time. She withdrew from emotional connections for a while. Hiromi has been a great support in helping Naruko regain confidence and balance. Both deserve happiness and stability. Nibi understands completely. She knows how delicate the minds of skilled warriors can be and how essential trust and support are. The conversation drifts to current events and the other tailed creatures, their locations, and the humans with whom they are bonded. Before long, Kumo comes into view. Naruko, take us to the cage tower. I'd prefer a discreet arrival to avoid unnecessary attention, Kyubi instructs. Naruko nods. Reluctantly, Hiromi lets go as Naruko directs their path toward the tallest building in the village. They arrive quietly through a large window. Inside, a strong individual is training with a visibly heavy set of weights. Nibi coughs, drawing the man's attention, and he stops mid-exercise, surprised but smiling at the interruption. He looks at the three newcomers, two women and Naruko, and then notices Yugito, her purple eyes bright with alertness. Yugito, who are these visitors, and what happened? He asks. Yugito steps forward calmly. I'm unavailable at the moment. Please try again later. The man squints. Nibi? Nibi smiles. Correct. To explain everything. Yugito encountered some challenges while traveling to a client location. She had to move constantly to manage the situation, and that's when I detected another tailed being nearby. Kyubi assisted us, using her abilities to stabilize things and help Yugito recover. The Raikage regards the three of them. I am able to converse because Yugito is resting and needs support. I am temporarily assisting her to ensure she remains steady. She is unaware of the bond we have established, and the circumstances are now settled. Nibi turns around and gently lifts her shirt to show Yugito's back, holding her hair to the side. The Raikage notices the fox symbol, a mark of her special abilities. A frowns in concern. How could this happen? Yugito is like my daughter. I would have helped if I had known. She already has so much to manage. He says firmly to the three. Kyubi steps forward and shifts into her fox form, tails and ears appearing. The aura she radiates makes A feel the intensity of her presence, almost overwhelming him. Listen carefully, Kyubi says firmly. Yugito's care and protection now rest with me and my partner. While I am glad she has friends who care for her, this is to ensure her safety as much as it is for my partner and me. Now, if you remain calm, I will explain what she is allowed to do. A blinks at the powerful being. He had not anticipated such a confident stance. First, she will remain in Kumo for now and continue as part of the Shinobi Corps, if you approve. Second, she will no longer be assigned to missions that are beyond her capacity. Her responsibilities will match her rank, and all assignments must be approved by the Reikage. She will not receive any new marks or restrictions without her consent. She may live her daily life freely, and should she make any choices outside these arrangements, I will address them directly. You are not to interfere or attempt to redirect her in any way. Finally, she will join us when called, whether we reside in Konoha or elsewhere, as determined by my partner and me. A listens carefully. He begins to understand why Kyubi insists that this is for Yugito's benefit as well. He had been unaware of the specifics of her assignments and council orders. Now, Yugito will not be tasked with anything overly challenging or classified, ensuring her safety and well-being. I should object as Yugito's superior, but as her friend, I will respect her care. She will remain a shinobi but will not have access to sensitive materials or areas, as her loyalty is now shared. I will follow the rules you've set. However, I have one question: does this arrangement also apply to Nibi, or only to Yugito? Kyubi turns her glowing red eyes to Nibi, who shrinks slightly. I am bound as well, as I encouraged Yugito to make this choice, Nibi admits. Raises an eyebrow at the title, but accepts it as part of their hierarchy. My voice is needed elsewhere, and this body must rest, Kyubi adds. I'll explain the situation to Yugito first, she's more likely to stay calm if I do. That's fine. I'll accompany Yugito, says kindly. Good. We will leave a clone here so she can recognize us. The clone will stay with the Reikage until she has been fully informed. Also, the mark she has is linked to my energy. I will always know her location and can guide her if necessary. Kyubi pauses at the window. And if any of my conditions are broken, consequences will follow. Let's keep things orderly. With that, the three lift into the air and soar away. Turns to Nibi, his expression serious. Before you react, we had no choice. Yugito was at risk, and Kyubi isn't seeking rewards. First, we need her at the hospital while you investigate how Akatsuki located us during the A-rank mission. Time skip, 2 days. Naruko and her companions arrive a few hundred feet from Konoha's north gate. They had taken their time traveling, moving at incredible speed but carefully controlling their descent. During the journey, Naruko and Kyubi receive word that Yugito has been informed and, while initially hesitant, she has agreed to the arrangement. As soon as they land, Hiromi rushes to Naruko and embraces her warmly. I need to return to my village. I've been gone too long, she says softly. Naruko's heart sinks at the expression on Hiromi's face. But, we'll see each other again soon. Now that I'll be around more, someone else can manage village duties. Come find me in a week, okay? Naruko nods, looking sad. Kyubi playfully jumps onto her back. Don't worry, Naruko. That just means more time for us. Hiromi chuckles, brushing Naruko's hair gently. I'll miss you. With a puff of smoke, Hiromi disappears back to the summoning realm, and Kyubi kisses Naruko's cheek from behind. Cheer up. Once she returns, we can plan the ceremony together. We don't have to wait, but I think Hiromi would appreciate it if we did, Kyubi says. Naruko nods, her half-face mask and sunglasses hiding her emotions. I know. I'd love to walk with you like this, but it might cause a scene. Let's continue when we reach the Hokage's office, she says. Kyubi kisses Naruko's cheek again, ruffles her hair affectionately, and vanishes into the storage seal. Naruko passes the gate guards, who let her through after a subtle reminder that the Hokage expects her. Using the rooftops, she reaches the tower, carefully avoiding unnecessary attention. Tsunade, startled from her papers, jumps up, ready to react. Naruko chuckles, lightly tapping her shoulder to get her attention. Naruko? Tsunade asks, seeing her adopted granddaughter. Hi, Buchan, Naruko replies. Tsunade's heart warms, and she embraces Naruko tightly. Could you let go, please? I need to breathe. Naruko smiles and lets her go. Tsunade steps back, still amazed at the encounter, as Kyubi observes quietly, ensuring everything remains safe and calm. Tsunade nodded and dismissed the Onbu stationed in her office. She closed the window and locked the door. Sorry about that, Naruko. I'm just relieved that you're returning to your usual self, she said, glancing at the papers on her desk. Her eyes widened in surprise as she noticed Kyubi sitting beside Naruko with her arms gently around her shoulders. So, when did this happen? Tsunade asked. Naruko shrugged casually. Hiromi-chan and I managed to convince her to open up in a village outside Kiri a few days before we left, Kyubi explained, clearly pleased to have Naruko's trust. Wait, this Hiromi, who is she? I remember you mentioned her in a letter, but I don't know who she is, Tsunade inquired. Naruko paused thoughtfully. With a gesture, Kyubi returned to the seal, and Naruko placed a reassuring hand on Tsunade's shoulder. In an instant, she sunshined both of them to the farthest training ground, number 45, near the Forest of Death. Tsunade landed on her backside with a soft grunt, shaking herself off. When she looked up, she saw Kyubi already outside, and Naruko pressed her thumb to the summoning seal. Kushios no Jutsu. A puff of smoke appeared, and Hiromi materialized, hands on her hips, a playful smile on her face. I knew you'd miss me, but I didn't think you'd go 10 minutes without summoning me, Hiromi teased. Tsunade blinked in astonishment. Wait, she's your summon? She asked in disbelief. Hiromi turned toward her, realizing Tsunade had just noticed her presence. Oh, that explains why I'm here, she said lightly. Tsunade looked between Naruko and the towering, elegant figure before her, clearly impressed. You didn't mention she was your summon. How long does she stay in the human world? She asked, knowing well the sensitivities around summoning etiquette. Hiromi laughed softly, a sound that carried warmth and amusement. You really don't know who I am, do you? She said, looking at Tsunade. When Tsunade shook her head, Hiromi glanced at Naruko, silently asking permission for something. Naruko nodded thoughtfully. With a small puff of smoke, Hiromi returned to her village. Tsunade opened her mouth to ask more questions, but Naruko quickly pressed her thumb to the seal again. Kushios no Jutsu. This time, an enormous cloud of smoke erupted, leaving Tsunade momentarily speechless. When it cleared, she was staring at a colossal dragon, the largest summon she had ever seen. Despite herself, she felt a shiver of awe as the dragon lowered its majestic head to the ground. And you were worried about the boss summon? Kyubi asked, reminding them of her presence. Tsunade swallowed hard as Hiromi lifted her head and let out a mighty roar. The sound was so powerful that it startled an Anbu hiding nearby, sending him scattering back into the trees. Tsunade quickly reprimanded the team for their reckless curiosity. Naruko floated gracefully toward Hiromi, perching gently on her snout. Tsunade stared, utterly amazed, while Kyubi silently observed. You know, I expected summoning you in dragon form to attract attention, but I didn't expect this much, Naruko said softly. Hiromi replied with a sheepish smile, it's a long time in a tiny body, my muscles do get stiff. Naruko scratched gently between her scales. It's alright. Listen, you said you needed a week, right? Kyubi was thinking that once you return, we would get married. What do you think? That's fine, Hiromi said simply, her eyes bright. Kyubi called out, don't forget about me down here. I won't shrink just to be heard. Naruko smiled nervously, and Hiromi lowered her head, letting Naruko safely cling while keeping a commanding presence. Once safely on the ground, Naruko introduced Hiromi formally to Tsunade. Tsunade-sama, this is Hiromi, the Dragon Clan's boss summon and my personal summon. Tsunade stood, clearly trying to comprehend the scale of the dragon. It's a pleasure to meet you, she said, regaining composure. Before long, 24 shinobi arrived, including Naruko's old teammates. Sakura rushed forward, but Hiromi stayed protective, ensuring no one approached Naruko too closely. Naruko, calm and collected, scratched Hiromi behind her scales. It's alright. They haven't seen me in a while, Naruko reassured her summon. Naruko then turned to Tsunade. Tsunade-sama, if you don't mind, we have matters to discuss. Do you need a ride back to the tower? Tsunade glanced at Hiromi and shook her head. No, I'll walk, she said. With a graceful leap, Hiromi soared into the sky, Naruko safely atop her snout, the two gliding above the village as they conversed in peace. You're never a bother, Hiromi said warmly. I enjoy our time together. Whenever you need me, just summon me. Naruko smiled, feeling comforted by the words as Kyubi wrapped supportive arms around her. Hiromi circled the sky above, giving them space to talk and ensuring everyone below remained safely distant. Later, back in Tsunade's office, Naruko explained the mission, detailing the analysis of Kiri, and shared Hiromi's assessment. Tsunade listened attentively, impressed by the strategic insight. Kyubi clarified one crucial point. Konoha doesn't have a new Jinchuriki. Nibi and her vessel are with Naruko and me, not the village. We are responsible for her, and no one else. Tsunade nodded, cautious but understanding. And regarding your upcoming marriage with Hiromi, I assume you intend to activate the CRA? Naruko smiled confidently. Exactly. The board will likely agree to that easily, but they might try to pair you with one of their own clan members, she warns. They have no authority over my decisions. The CRA is strictly clan business, and the board cannot dictate what I do with my clan. They may suggest candidates, or recommend when to activate it, but they cannot compel me. Their only input is limited to whether to activate or deactivate the CRA based on the clan's request. Beyond that, it is entirely our responsibility. Slightly surprised by her assertiveness, Tsunade can only nod. I will only choose those who align with my wishes and who are agreeable to my current partners, Naruko states firmly. So, since the board won't be an obstacle, when are you planning the ceremony? Do you want separate celebrations or a single gathering? Kyubi says next week, and Hiromi agreed. I think one ceremony makes sense. We are becoming a family, so keeping it private might create unnecessary competition or jealousy, Naruko explains. Does Naruko not want us to compete? Kyubi asks playfully, in a tone like she's talking to a child. Before Naruko can respond, Kyubi lightly taps her hand over her mouth. Sorry about that. She can be. Ow. Naruko pulls her hand back, noticing Kyubi grinning mischievously. You were trying to play a trick on me. Oh, just you wait. I might do it again, Kyubi teases. Tsunade clears her throat to regain their attention. As happy as I am to see someone with so much support, Naruko, please keep playful antics outside my office. Now, how do you plan to approach the Rookie 11 and Kakashi? Naruko shrugs. If they want to speak with me individually, that's fine. I will be honest with them. They can accept the changes in my life and my partners, or they can step back. I don't need them, and they don't need me. You should engage with them. The door was open when your heart was hurt, and most of them were around, visiting friends from the retrieval team. They've all supported you, even Ino. You should have seen Shikamaru's advice, he was very direct, but ultimately supportive. You've likely had fewer than a dozen meaningful conversations with any of the Rookie 11 since then. I'm not saying you need a party, but small gestures matter. Reach out occasionally, they are loyal and willing to support you. Naruko is surprised, she hadn't realized how much they cared, especially Ino. I'll try, she responds softly. Tsunade smiles genuinely. That's all I ask. I'll schedule the appointment with the board in 2 days. You'll need to be present to make the official request. And now that you're ready to represent yourself, I can announce your real name tomorrow, with your permission. Naruko nods. If that's all, I think I'll take a walk through the village. Tsunade waves her hand in dismissal. See you, Buchan, Naruko says, departing. Tsunade allows a single tear to fall onto the papers she is about to sign and calls Shizune to notify Jiraiya. Time skip, 2 days. Naruko and Kyubi enter the board chambers, hand in hand, radiating joy. The room falls silent at their arrival. Naruko wears a half mask and sunglasses, maintaining an air of confidence. Tsunade rises and addresses her. Namazake Naruko, as head of the Namazake clan, you have requested activation of the Clan Restoration Act established by the Nidaime Hokage. This act allows you to formally unite with multiple partners to ensure the prosperity of your clan. The rules of the CRA are straightforward. You must take a minimum of 3 partners, and no more than the current ratio of females to males in the village multiplied by 2, if greater than 3. Based on the latest survey, the ratio is 2 to 1, which means no more than 4 partners. Namazake Naruko, do you accept these terms? I do, Naruko affirms. Very well. We shall proceed with a vote. All in favor of activating the CRA for the Namazake clan, please raise your hands. The vote is overwhelmingly in favor, with only 2 dissenting voices from minor clans holding long-standing grievances against Kyubi. By the authority of the Hokage and the board, the Namazake clan is now officially under the CRA until their numbers stabilize. Congratulations, Naruko. If there are no further matters, you are dismissed. Naruko nods and exits with Kyubi, who is exuberant and climbs onto her back. They leave the Hokage tower smiling. Ahead of them stands Sakura, carrying a stack of papers for the Hokage to sign. Who is she? Kyubi asks, stepping off Naruko's back and approaching Sakura, her glare unwavering. Someone you don't want to challenge. Best move along before things get tense, Kyubi warns. Sakura blushes with frustration. And who do you think you are? I am Naruko's Freya. Kyubi steps closer, her tone firm. If you say friend, remember this, friends do not cause the hurt you caused. And just so we're clear, I am Naruko's fiancé. I have every right to protect her. Naruko gently takes Kyubi's elbow, guiding her away. Come on, Q, she says, smiling. Kyubi allows herself to be led away but turns once more, a determined expression on her face. And just to be clear, I care deeply for her. That gives me every reason to act as I must. Sakura's jaw dropped in surprise, and she accidentally let the papers slip from her hands, giving Kyubi a small sense of amusement at her astonished expression. However, Naruko quickly regained her composure and guided Sakura away before the situation could escalate. You shouldn't provoke her like that, Naruko advised calmly. Kyubi HPHMS softly, nestling against Naruko's shoulder. She should be treated fairly. I will not allow anyone to be treated unjustly, Naruko replied firmly. Naruko gently placed an arm around Kyubi, drawing her close. Kyubi nuzzled against her, bringing a smile to Naruko's face as they continued walking. Thank you for looking out for me, but you don't need to be so forceful about it, Kyubi said warmly. Before they could go any further, Naruko's Anbu captain appeared in front of them. Naruko, you are to report to the Hokage's office immediately, the captain instructed. Naruko sighed, nodded, and the Anbu departed to continue his mission. Shall we go? Naruko asked. With a nod, she shunshined away. Hokage's office. When Naruko arrived, she was among the last to reach the office, which was bustling with Anbu members, both Black Ops and regular forces, as well as the Hokage's personal guards. Her identity was masked by her owl-shaped mask and hooded armor, and Kyubi rested comfortably on her shoulder in fox form. Soon after, Naruko's captain and 2 squad members arrived. Observing that everyone was present, Tsunade called the meeting to order. I have convened this meeting to inform you that Konoha is facing a potential threat from Akatsuki. Jiraiya has received intelligence suggesting that they may attempt an intrusion in 3 days. Our fastest envoys have been dispatched to Iwa, Kumo, and Suna to coordinate support. Our strategy will focus on fortifying Konoha, as it is both the primary target and the most secure location in Hi-no Kuni. Each of you will receive specific assignments, primarily involving border patrols, wall security, and other defensive measures. During this time, non-essential missions will be suspended. Tomorrow will be reserved for intense training, and the following day will be for rest and recovery. I will address the rest of the shinobi in an official announcement within the hour. One Anbu spoke up. Do we have any verified intelligence on the invaders, their numbers, ranks, or approach? Not at this moment, Tsunade replied. Speculation can be misleading and dangerous. Jiraiya will continue gathering information, and our Anbu commander is preparing comprehensive defense strategies. All squad leaders have received instructions. Dismissed. Owl, step forward. The room cleared, leaving Naruko alone. Kyubi shifted to her humanoid form and perched on Tsunade's desk. Can either of you contact Yugito? Tsunade asked. Yes, Kyubi replied. Through the bond I share with her, I am aware of her location and well-being, and I can communicate guidance directly. Tsunade nodded approvingly. Excellent. Ask Yugito to request support from Kumo. Their cooperation will strengthen our defenses, especially given they have 2 capable Jinchuriki. Kyubi touched the back of her neck, opening a secure communication channel. Kumo, Yugito's residence. Yugito's life had recently undergone significant changes. She was no longer assigned tasks that wasted her time or forced unnecessary interaction. Although she had less access to sensitive information, she found herself relieved by the reduction in stressful responsibilities. Suddenly, a voice called out to her. Yugito. Startled, she quickly looked around, scanning the room. Yugito. The voice repeated with authority, prompting her to focus and respond mentally. Nibi, what is happening? She asked softly. Come here, Nibi instructed. Someone wishes to speak with you. With curiosity, Yugito entered the mindspace where Nibi awaited. Kyubi appeared alongside, watching the scene with a subtle smile. Greetings, my assistant, Kyubi said calmly. I see you have been taking some time for yourself. Yugito blushed slightly, realizing she had been caught off guard. It is important to balance personal time with duties, Kyubi continued. Now, I have a task for you to strengthen our defenses. Yugito nodded, ready to cooperate. Nibi looked on, supportive yet firm, emphasizing the importance of discipline and responsibility. Kyubi glanced from Nibi to Yugito, who met her gaze with determination. With impressive speed, Kyubi moved closer, holding Yugito firmly but safely in place. Using a gentle touch, she placed her hand near Yugito, focusing her chakra into a soft, glowing aura. Yugito gasped, startled by the unusual sensation, but she didn't resist. Kyubi's control was calm but unyielding. Within moments, Yugito's energy stabilized, and she felt a strange calmness washing over her. Kyubi looked into her eyes with unwavering focus. From now on, Kyubi said firmly but kindly, you will listen carefully, follow instructions, and remain calm. Do I make myself clear? Yugito nodded immediately, showing respect and understanding. Yes. Kyubi-sama. Kyubi released her gently, and Yugito remained seated, clearly reflecting on the lesson. You must now deliver an urgent message to the Reikage, Kyubi continued. Inform him that Akatsuki is preparing to act, and we need to coordinate a response. We have already sent word to Iwa and Suna. Once you receive confirmation, you will report back. Yugito nodded with renewed resolve. Kyubi leaned closer. I know this is challenging, she said softly, but it is for your benefit. Even the Reikage understands this is necessary. You have strength, resilience, and a courageous heart. I believe in your ability to persevere. As Kyubi prepared to leave, Yugito reached out timidly.
I want to make the right choices, and I want to do my best, she admitted.
Kyubi looked back and offered a reassuring smile. Your determination will guide you, Kyubi said. Use your heart, your skills, and your judgment. You are capable of great things. Yugito wiped her eyes and nodded, feeling braver than before. Kyubi turned to Nibi, who watched attentively. Please keep an eye on her and help her focus. I will leave a small seal so she can contact me if needed. Nibi nodded, her tail swishing in agreement. Kyubi placed her hand gently on the wall, leaving a faint mark that would allow communication if necessary. Thank you for helping her, Nibi said quietly. She needs guidance, and you've treated her with care. I'm doing my best, Kyubi replied. Before Naruko, I might not have felt this responsibility, but now, I want to help every Jinchuriki I can. With that, Kyubi disappeared from Yugito's awareness, leaving her to prepare for her mission. Hokage office. Naruko looked concerned as Kyubi slumped slightly, but after a quick check by Tsunade, they carefully helped her rest on the couch. Naruko gently stroked her long, silky hair, offering comfort and reassurance. Tsunade smiled warmly at the scene. This is exactly how it should be, she said. When Kyubi stirred, Naruko spoke softly. I'm here, Kyubi. Everything's fine. Kyubi blinked and relaxed into Naruko's calm presence. Tsunade cleared her throat to get their attention. We have an update from Iwa. A tired messenger shinobi entered the room, trying to maintain composure. Iwa has agreed to assist us, the messenger reported. They are sending a force of 1,000 skilled ninja to support us against Akatsuki. The messenger fainted from exhaustion, and the Anbu quickly escorted them for care. Tsunade turned to Naruko. I have an assignment for you, she said, her tone serious but encouraging. Dear YouTube family. This is all for now. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to stay updated on future videos. Your support means the world and keeps the creativity flowing. Thank you for being part of this journey. Regards. 6 Path Weeb.